Hey guys, it's me, Will Patterson. Today I'm going to be showing you what I use in my logo design process, use it on my table, my desk right here for all of my work. I don't know about you, but for me, I love to see what other graphic designers, what other creative professionals use as a day-to-day device. So what pens they use, what notepads. So hopefully this will help you, inspire you, and answer a bunch of questions that you guys have left on the comments about what's on my desk. Okay, first of all, paper. What do I use? Well, I use field notes. These are tiny notebooks. Well, they're not tiny, they're just perfect pocket-sized notebooks that you can carry around with you. As a graphic designer, someone who does logo design especially, I'm always getting inspired by things when I'm outside the office. A lot of my inspiration happens when I'm sat down and I'm in the zone, but I'll be going out for a walk and I'll see something that will spark inspiration. Maybe it's a shape or maybe it's just some idea that I have and I don't have my notebook. Or I don't have a way of recording that. Well, my memory's terrible, so I carry around field notes with me all the time because I can have any idea I want written down, drawn down. 90% of my logo design work, if not 95%, I mean, pinch of salt there, but a lot of my work is done inside of just one of these little field notes. I use them even when I'm at the office. They've always got a place in my pocket, and without them, I would just forget the idea or forget the shape that I saw. So that's what you see on my desk a lot. Now to draw, I'm just going to get out my pocket now. I use a Rotring 800.5mm retractable mechanical pencil. That's a bit of a mouthful. Have you ever had it where you've got your field notes, let's say, or anything, piece of paper on you, and you don't want to be drawing with a pen, but you kind of have to because it retracts back in? If you don't draw with a pen, you're kind of left with a pencil that's stuck in your pocket and it keeps jabbing you in the leg or you break the lead and, you know, it's just a mess. Well, the great thing about this is that it is retractable. It's all this mechanical retractable thing. It's like a fidget spinner. Really satisfying. I've been a fan of Rotring for a long time. In fact, my first proper mechanical pencil is the same one, but without the retractable part. It's just sort of stood there. I've had this since I started my career, and it's sort of here on my desk for me to use whenever I want. But with this, it's small enough, but large enough to hold in the hand nicely, but small enough to be in my pocket next to my field notes. It's about the same size as a field notes actually as well, which is quite nice. So that's the number one pencil and the number one notebook I use. Something that you guys have seen on my videos is this really long portrait notepad. But this is made fully from brass and it's got a cork bottom. It's really heavy and it was made by GroveMade. Even this felt desk mat was made by GroveMade, and the little container for my plant is made by GroveMade. This is my to-do list and just random notes section. This is where I just write notes, to-do list, what I'm going to do. If I think of an idea, I just pick up the pen, which is also brass, and it works kind of like the Rotring one, and I'll just write it out. It's quite nifty actually having it to be longer than it is wider, because on your desk, you want it to take up less space lengthwise, because a lot of what you use is kind of wide, like your keyboard and this desk mat. So having a long list of things that's just really short, bullet points, it's great for that. The pen holder was made of brass as well, and it is heavy. You could knock someone out with that. It's pretty crazy. GroveMade did send me these things out to be in the videos, but I genuinely use them as well. They're very, very nice and premium. And what you're seeing here is tracing paper. This is 150 GSM tracing paper, which is thick. It's kind of like baking paper. Now, a lot of you guys seem to think from one of my last videos that I don't draw anymore. That's not what I said at all, which is hilarious. In fact, most of what I do is draw. But this tracing paper is perfect for me. It's an A5 size because when I have a sketchbook, like my field notes, I can just place this on top of it. It doesn't take a lot of space on the table. I can actually take this with me as well. It goes into my bag. The problem is with the full A4 ones, they get all messy when you're using them. So I like the smaller ones. And also it is 150 GSM. Why? Well, because it stops it from creasing. The most annoying thing when tracing a logo is creasing the paper because you have to kind of redo it again and it doesn't scan properly. So what I do with tracing paper is I use it to refine logos, use it to refine lettering. And the reason why I still use this and not my iPad is because I feel like I get less distractions from it. Procreate in the iPad is great and I still use my iPad, obviously. However, it doesn't have that same feeling. I think the fact that you can zoom in on it doesn't help. I think it kind of just distracts you a little bit on the iPad, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying that it's not a good piece of software. So yes, that's what I use, tracing paper. It's great. Get 150 GSM or up to 100 GSM, you'll notice it's very thick. Now this funky looking pen is the Pilot Parallel pen. For any of my calligraphy followers out there, you know obviously I do calligraphy. In fact, that's what a lot of my logo types are inspired by, calligraphy and hand lettering. Well, the Pilot Parallel pen is essentially a fountain pen, but it's just flat nibbed. So that means that you can create Gothic or black letter calligraphy very easily. I say easily, it's not actually easy to learn. It looks simple when you see the professionals do it, and I'm no calligraphy professional. It's not something that I do every day, but it works really well and nicely. But it also has a few different functions for me as well. If I'm quickly wanting to block something out like a sans serif font or even a serif font, I can use this. But this is always on my desk because when I'm creating logo marks, I like to have different forms of writing. I like to be able to use different tools because it inspires what comes out of me then. If you want to learn more about black letter calligraphy, I have got a video about it, but just let me know down in the comments if you want more videos about them and I can teach you what I know. I've also got a book that teaches it too, so you can go and find that. The next one is again another pen, but it's actually a brush pen. A lot of my logo type design stuff, especially Scrawlerbox's logo, which you'll see later on in the video, was done with brush pens. These are essentially squishy pens where you can go thick and thin. It's kind of like the old style of like traditional calligraphy, but modern. And you can get some crazy styles out of it. Well, the one that I use is this Unipin Fine Line brush pen. It just seems thicker than most other ones, but also the most important thing is it's pocketable. You can take this with you wherever you go. Brush calligraphy is great, again, for quickly jotting down or quickly getting some logo type inspiration. Maybe you want to do like a case study on one letter. I call it form storming, where you just go ahead and create 100 different types of that letter to see what you can do with it. You can do that pretty easily with just a brush pen and your sketchbook. The next thing I use is, it's another pencil, but you need to know about it. It's the Palomino Black Wings. Now, I've always loved Palomino ever since I got my grubby hands on one of them. The graphite in them is so smooth, and it's kind of meant for sketching and music composers. Now, this black one is actually really, really soft, so you get really thick lines in it. And I like this for just general jotting down quick ideas onto large pieces of paper. However, this blue one that you're seeing is a collaboration between Scrawlerbox and Palomino, and the coolest thing about it is that because I designed the logo for Scrawlerbox, you see the logo on it and it's cool AF. But these pencils are great, and you can see me sharpening it with a 2-point sharpener, which means that you get this extra long fine point. It just gives you better accuracy, I guess. I don't know really what it does, but I like it. Now, the next thing I use is Squarespace, and they are sponsoring this video. Now, if you're a graphic designer or someone who wants to become a graphic designer in the future, it's important to have a place to put your work, your portfolio. This is where all your clients are going to see your value, what you can do for them. They've got over 1,000 award-winning, fully customizable templates that you can use. So you don't have to be a web design genius or a coder to actually create an amazing looking site that looks like it belongs to you. If you use the code down below, you get 10% off and a free trial, which means that you can design your website before you pay for it. And you don't have to worry about domains or anything like that. You can do it directly within Squarespace. As well as having a portfolio, you can have a place where people can download products from you or buy products. You can have a contact form, obviously. You can create a landing page for your next project. There's so many uses, but all I know is that you need a website. And all I know is that Squarespace is probably one of the best places to go and get them. So if Squarespace is a good fit for you, which I think it is, click the link down below to start your free trial, get 10% off. Now, the big one that a lot of people ask, and it changes every now and then, is what keyboard are you using? Well, this one is a new one. I got it about last week. It's called the Keychron K1. I love mechanical keyboards. I do a lot of typing. In fact, most of my videos, you wouldn't believe it, I write a lot beforehand to help formulate my thoughts. I also write a newsletter every week, so if you want to, go ahead and subscribe to it down below. You get some free stuff with it as well. But this Keychron K1 has got Cherry, I don't think it's Cherry MX, but I think it's Red Gator on Reds, something like that. Anyway, it's nice, it feels good. It was sort of made so you could mod it and customize it, but I kind of like the way it looks now. It's a great experience with the keyboard. The only regret I have is I got the American version, not the ISO version. I keep doing that as well. It's kind of annoying. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and then check out this video here. It's good. Trust me, it's good. I'm just going to sit here and tell you to go to this video right here.